Welcome back to Community Convener, the official podcast of the Henry County Chamber of Commerce, proudly powered by Georgia Power. I'm your host, Joseph Henning, President and CEO of the Chamber. We have a thought-provoking episode for you today, one that highlights service, collaboration, and major milestones shaping Henry County's future. In our catalytic conversation, Director of Communications Barbara Ingram sits down with board member Thomas Williams with Kaiser Permanente to discuss the inaugural Henry County Valor Awards, which recognizes outstanding service from our first responders and medical caregivers right here in Henry County. We share an announcement that I had the pleasure of taping with Henry County Board of Commissioners Chair Carlotta Harrell. That is followed by my conversation with Clayton Carte that included updates to SPLOST projects. And in our member minute, I talked to former Stockbridge Mayor Anthony Ford about his commitment to public service and what it meant for him to receive the Community Service Award from the Henry Chamber at this year's annual awards and installation dinner. We'll round out today's episode with member updates and look at what's ahead on the Chamber calendar. So grab your coffee and let's dive in. This episode's initiative highlight features the joint announcement I recorded with Henry County Chair Carlotta Harrell.
Hello, Henry County. I'm Chair Carlotta Harrell, and it is my honor to share something truly special with you.
And I'm Joe Henning, President and CEO of the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. Together, we are proud to introduce an event that celebrates the very best of our community.
On November the 13th, 2026, Henry County will host the Henry County Valor Awards, a ceremony dedicated to recognizing extraordinary courage, service, and sacrifice.
These awards honor the individuals who run toward danger when others run away, those who protect our neighborhoods, those who save lives, and those who serve with integrity, compassion, and unwavering commitment.
Our first responders, public safety teams, and community heroes deserve to be seen, celebrated, and uplifted. The Valor Awards will shine a light on their bravery and the impact that they make every single day.
And this isn't just a ceremony, it's a community moment, a moment for businesses, families, and the community to come together and to say thank you.
Mark your calendars for Friday, November the 13th, 2026, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m.
We invite you to join us as we honor the men and women who embody the true spirit of Henry County.
Together, let's celebrate courage, let's celebrate service, let's celebrate Henry County.
We'll see you at the 2026 Henry County Valor Awards. Our catalytic conversation today centers on our inaugural Valor Awards program presented by Kaiser Permanente. This program is designed to honor the extraordinary courage, leadership, sacrifice, and service of the public safety professionals and healthcare heroes who protect and care for our community every day. Director of Communications Barbara Ingram talks to Kaiser Permanente's Thomas Williams and Program Staff Liaison Leonard Robinson to share how we will celebrate individuals, teams, and organizations whose actions have made a lasting impact on the safety and well-being of Henry County.
Hello, I'm Barbara Ingram, Director of Communications with the Henry County Chamber of Commerce. For today's catalytic conversation, we're introducing a brand new initiative coming to Henry County, the inaugural Henry County Valor Awards, scheduled for November 13, 2026. This special event will recognize the extraordinary men and women who serve our community in public safety and healthcare. Joining me are Thomas Williams with Kaiser Permanente, the presenting sponsor of the Valor Awards, and Leonard Robinson, Director of Membership for the Henry County Chamber of Commerce and a proud Marine Corps veteran. Gentlemen, thank you both for joining me. Thomas, many people are hearing about the Valor Awards for the first time. What are the Valor Awards and why did you feel Henry County needed them?
Thank you for the invitation to be a part of the podcast for today, the Community Convener. I'm excited to be here and to be a part of this discussion about the Henry County Valor Awards. To provide a little context, annually I meet with the Henry County Board of Commissioners individually, and I brief them and talk to them about some of the things that we're doing in Henry County and the impacts that our chamber membership, our sponsorship in the community, our partnerships with the school systems, and so forth. So in my one-on-one meeting with Chair Carlotta Harrell, we talked about the need for recognition of honoring our public safety officials. And that meeting took place on January the 27th, just to give you a timeline. By mid-February, Chair Harrell had already established a committee and committee meetings moving forth. So we've been meeting with Leonard and yourself as the chamber executives, and with the committee that was formed by Chair Harrell from a committee of public officials, public safety officials, from E911 director, from chief of public safety for the police department in Henry County, the sheriff's office, a wide array of public safety officials from EMS. So this committee is a broad committee, and we've been focusing and working hard to do this. Kaiser Permanente, as we attempt to improve the health of our members and the communities we serve, we see this as a great opportunity to improve the community and to coalesce around our public safety officials, those that are day in and day out are putting their lives on the line to protect us, and also and to protect our way of life and to improve our quality of life for our communities. So we're so grateful and thankful for the partnership between Chair Carlotta Harrell and the Board of Commissioners and the board of the chamber, and Joe and yourself and Barbara and Leonard. And I just want to thank you all for your level of engagement and partnership with this event, the Valor Awards, the Henry County Valor Awards. Thank you so very much.
No, I think we thank you as well for bringing us the Valor Awards. I understand that you've helped establish similar programs in other Georgia communities. What impact have you seen these awards have in places like DeKalb, Clayton, and Gwinnett counties?
What we've seen is tremendous impact, and it is an acknowledgement that often our public safety officials, be it firefighters and sheriff's departments and E911 officials, they're not really looking for recognition. This is their calling. So we saw it as a great fit to honor these heroes and sheroes that are protecting our way of life every day. Starting out in Gwinnett, we're very involved in the Gwinnett Chamber. We're members there, and we've been a partner with the Valor Awards for a long time. And so we had this idea to say, let's expand the concept first to Clayton County, and we did so. And we've been presenting sponsors of the Clayton County Valor Awards for 6 years. And we're very proud of that. And in that ceremony, it really elevates number one, the need for public safety. And number two, it really helps to clarify their role in the community. And it identifies their partnerships as it relates to innovation and the things that they're doing. And it highlights that and to be recognized for that. So in DeKalb County, we initiated the DeKalb Valor Awards in partnership with the DeKalb Chamber. And we're excited. This is their third year, and we're looking forward to their event. Matter of fact, next week. So we're excited about it. And the chamber president texted me the other day to inform me that they're sold out. Mm-hmm. So we're very thankful that we can create these partnerships with chambers and public safety and with the county governments in these respective counties.
So that means you've been in the room when these awards have been given out in other counties. What happens when a firefighter or a paramedic or a nurse or a dispatcher hears their name called for one of these awards and gets to go up on stage and get recognized by their peers and family members? What is that like? You've witnessed that before.
It is a tremendous honor. These programs are very emotional because you realize that the sacrifice that our public safety officials are making, even while we're sleeping in our beds, 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. And when you hear these stories, these stories of heroism, it really just sends chills through you to know that you and your family and your businesses are protected. And what would we do without these public safety officials who are the vanguard of our communities that are helping us, working side by side with us in our communities to keep us safe and for them to be able to serve us? Also, as it relates to the mental health of our public safety officials, we never know where and what they're thinking about, because keep in mind, they see danger all the time. They encounter, and that's trauma, right? And so we never know where they are in their trauma and how these programs really help to let them know that they're not doing their work, and their sacrifice does not go unnoticed. That we have a Chamber of Commerce, we have a board of commissioners that want to recognize and honor that valor day in and day out.
I'm so glad to be a part of this program that we're leading up to. And we have Leonard Robinson here, who also, in addition to being our director of membership, he also chairs the Veterans Entrepreneurship Group here at the Chamber. Leonard, some people may wonder why the Chamber is involved in recognizing public safety and healthcare professionals. Why was this a natural fit for the Chamber?
Thanks for letting me be here, Barbara. This is a natural fit for the Chamber because the Chamber's role extends well beyond supporting individual businesses. We're here to help build a strong, connected community, and the public safety and healthcare are essential parts of that foundation. When businesses consider locating or relocating, expanding here in Henry County, they look at the entire community. They want to know that their employees, their families will be safe, that the quality healthcare is available, and that a strong public institutions are in place. They want to know that professionals here that we're honoring help create the stability that allows our community and the economy to grow. The Chamber is also uniquely positioned to bring businesses, government agencies, healthcare organizations, and community leaders together. That makes the Valor Awards a very natural fit for us. This is also an opportunity for the businesses of the community to stand alongside Henry County and to say to those who protect us, we see you, we see what you do, we value your service, and we appreciate you.
Well, as a Marine veteran yourself, what does a program like this mean to you personally?
As a Marine veteran, service has a very personal meaning to me. Service is about accepting responsibility for something greater than yourself, often, as Thomas mentioned earlier, without expecting recognition in return. That same commitment is demonstrated every day by our first responders, dispatchers, healthcare professionals, the emergency personnel, their support teams. They show up during some of the most difficult and uncertain moments in these people's lives. Now, most people who serve don't do it for applause. They don't do it for awards, but that doesn't mean recognition isn't important. Taking the time to honor them lets them and their families know that their sacrifices don't go unnoticed. Recognition builds morale. It strengthens a culture of service, and it reminds people that the community stands behind them. Personally, I'm proud to help create that moment for men and women serving here in Henry County.
That's great. Thank you for sharing that. So, Thomas, tell us about the individuals and the organizations that you've experienced in all of the other areas of the community. Tell us about, in Henry County, who's eligible for this recognition?
I would say that all of the public safety officials within the Henry County government and the municipalities also. That's very important. And the chiefs of each municipality can submit through the chamber link, nominations for the different categories of the Valor Awards. We want to encourage all the municipalities to participate along with the county. And also, what we established in Clayton County right after COVID was a healthcare frontline warrior award that goes to healthcare systems, that goes to nonprofit healthcare organizations that are making a tremendous impact in our communities on its delivery of healthcare services as well. And that's something we're very proud about. Another thing is that it elevates great public-private partnerships that are going on that we might not even be aware of. And so we're very aware in Henry County that this does exist. So we want to illuminate them, talk about them, and to talk about their success and the impact that they make in the community as well.
Great. So for those who are listening, let me just give you a list of them. I think the awards will recognize all law enforcement, Stockbridge, McDonough, Hampton, Locust Grove, and Henry County will have an opportunity to submit nominations. The fire departments in each of those entities, EMS, dispatch, communications, corrections, emergency management teams, healthcare professionals, the ones on the front line, as well as those serving it administratively, they're all eligible to be nominated. And finally, any public safety support personnel. Did I leave anyone out, Leonard?
Nobody I can think of.
Great. So the one thing that makes these awards unique is that they're not limited to the dramatic, headline-making moments. They also recognize sustained excellence, leadership, innovation, and service over time. Thomas, have you seen that come to fruition in these types of ceremonies, recognition?
I have in all three counties, in Gwinnett, Clayton, and DeKalb counties, the public safety officials, they have their own partnerships, for example, with school systems, where they're working with high schoolers on how to say no, or how do you overcome peer pressure. And so these partnerships are significant, and they impact the overall community, right? And those partnerships, to me, have significant value, and this is a great opportunity. The Valor Awards would be a great opportunity to talk about those partnerships, to elevate them, and to literally to bring them to life, and so that we can be aware of their impact throughout the community.
So glad that we're doing this in Henry County. Leonard, can you talk to the community about how they can get involved? I know it's November 13th is the date that we're going to all come together and present these awards. But leading up to that, what opportunities do the community have to embrace or support these awards?
Thanks, Barbara. I think off the top of my head, there's 3 ways the community can participate. First, nominate a deserving individual or a team. We need people who work alongside these professionals and the people whose lives that have been touched by their service to help us identify these stories. Secondly, attend the awards luncheon on November 13th. We want the room filled with people who already are ready to celebrate these outstanding professionals and demonstrate Henry County's appreciation. And third, businesses and organizations can support the program through their sponsorship. Their support helps us create an event that properly reflects the importance of the people and the services that we're recognizing. So whether you represent public safety, a public safety agency, a healthcare organization, businesses, nonprofits, or you're simply a grateful resident, there's a place for you in this celebration. The Valor Awards belong to the entire Henry County community.
So whether you're a part of a public safety agency, a healthcare organization, a business, or simply a grateful resident, there are many ways for everyone to participate.
Yes, absolutely. There's definitely great ways for you to participate and be involved in it.
So we're looking forward to November 13. The Valor Awards will be held at the Mount Olive Baptist Church in Stockbridge, Georgia, and we want to fill the room. Before we close, I'd like each of you, Thomas and Leonard, thank you for being here and sharing your thoughts today, but I want you to share one parting thought. Thomas, tell us why this recognition matters once again.
This Valor Awards, the recognition matters. As we stated earlier, it's not that our public safety officials are seeking recognition, but what we want to do is to elevate the tremendous work and sacrifices that them and their families make day in and day out. And to hear those stories, those narratives that will be read about what what they experience in the face of danger at that particular time. It really gives you a window into their daily lives. And it makes us as a community more grateful to our public safety officials and the roles that they play in keeping us safe every day.
Thank you, Thomas, and thank you to Kaiser Permanente, our presenting sponsor for the Valor Awards. So, Leonard, to close us out, talk a little bit about the importance of honoring the public safety and healthcare warriors in our community.
Well, it's been great to be here with you and Thomas today. Service is the strongest foundation a community can have, but it shouldn't be taken for granted. The Valor Awards gives Henry County an opportunity to pause, come together, and to honor people who answer the call every day. The individuals who may not consider themselves heroes, but their courage, compassion, their professionalism, that commitment make a real difference in the lives of others. So the Valor Awards gives Henry County an opportunity for this first inaugural year. I would really love to see us take ownership of this program, nominate someone, attend this luncheon, and become a sponsor. Help us build a tradition that people of Henry County will be proud for many years to come. And most importantly, let's make sure those who serve our community hear this message clearly. We see you, we appreciate you, and Henry County is grateful for your service.
So, the Valor Awards aren't just about handing out trophies. They're about shining a light on extraordinary people whose commitment, courage, and compassion make Henry County a safer, healthier, and stronger community every day. To learn more about nominations for the Valor Awards, sponsorship opportunities, or attending the event, visit the Henry County Chamber of Commerce website. Thank you all for listening today and joining us for the Catalytic Conversation.
This week's episode highlights Kaiser Permanente, our elite member of the week. Inclusive economic growth is critical to both individual and community health. When there is a lack of economic opportunity in communities, the prospects for upward social mobility are diminished, often resulting in poorer health and higher mortality rates for people living in those communities. By contrast, economic growth and opportunity provides individuals with jobs, income, a sense of purpose, and opportunities to improve their economic circumstances over time. As a large, influential institution in our community, Kaiser Permanente recognizes that the way they do business can support economic opportunity in local communities by being intentional about how they hire, purchase, build facilities, and partner with communities. Here are some of the ways that they're helping revitalize and grow our communities right here in Georgia and strengthening economic opportunity by providing good jobs to individuals facing barriers to employment through high-impact hiring and workforce pipeline efforts, by purchasing goods and services from local minority and women-owned businesses and encouraging good employment practices by their vendor partners, and finally, by partnering with community organizations to grow local business capacity, increase access to good jobs, and support stable, quality, affordable housing. This week, we salute Kaiser Permanente, our elite sponsor of the week.
We all know that a thriving business community depends on strong civic foundations, but cutting through the national noise and understanding how things actually work here in Georgia, from the Gold Dome to our own county commission, can be a challenge. That's why you need to listen to the Citizens Playbook, hosted by Henry County Chamber CEO Joseph Henning and State Court Judge Stephen Knights Jr. This 18-part audio series is a user manual for our democracy. It moves beyond abstract civics to make a meaningful impact right here in Henry County. You can find the Citizens Playbook wherever you get your podcasts. Get in the game. The Citizens Playbook is the guide you've been waiting for.
Well, welcome back to this episode's Henry Happenings, and Clayton Carte's with us today from Henry County Government. How are you, Clayton?
Well, hello, Joe. I'm doing great today. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, absolutely. You guys have been busy opening up the aquatic center and ribbon cuttings on those streets and stuff. So tell me what's up since the last time we talked.
Yeah, absolutely. We as a county are super excited now that the aquatic center is open and families are out having a blast at the outdoor water park. The water park will remain available through Labor Day for anyone that wants to get out there before the summer season ends. They have a few more weeks they can get out there and enjoy it. The indoor aquatic center is open year-round, but the water park will just be during the summertime. But we've also got various road projects going on, like road resurfacing work and some intersection projects. But I'd especially love to share some major updates with you today as we prepare to start construction on 2 major road projects.
All right. So we're talking SPLOST.
Absolutely, yes. Our SPLOST. So this program had 7 major road projects, and in the last couple months, the board has awarded contracts for the 2 more of those projects. So out of that 7, the 7 major projects, 5 of them have now been awarded to construction. And in the next couple weeks, motorists will start to see the initial signs of road work on 2 projects. Those are the Jonesboro Road widening near Target, Sam's Club, and Best Buy, and the State Route 81 widening in between McDonough and Ola.
All right. Let's start with Jonesboro Road and the widening. So take us through that area. You had said from roughly around the Best Buy and all of that in that area at Home Center to how far will that go?
Yes, the Jonesboro Road widening will extend from Interstate 75 to North Mount Carmel Road. That project will be expanding that current 2-lane road to a 4-lane road, as well as add a shared use path on both sides for pedestrians and bicyclists.
Amazing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. So you said that the board just let that out. They awarded that. What's the time frame for that one?
The board awarded the contract in May. The county, we have recently held our pre-construction meeting with the contractor. And in speaking with the contractor, they expect to start mobilizing out there around the middle of August. What motorists will first see as work begins, they will see erosion control measures going into place, as well as signage letting motorists know that there's now a roadwork area. After that, after all of the erosion controls are in place to begin the project, they will then, later in the fall, start clearing the corridor of adjacent trees that have to be removed to make space for the roadway. But that will also then help make space for the utility companies like Georgia Power and Henry County Water Authority to start moving their lines, which is a critical part of these projects that motorists will see over the next year, possibly even 18 months, as we work with utility providers for them to relocate their facilities.
Okay. All right. And then now let's turn to the south side or the east side with the State Route 81. Again, to remind us where that construction will take place.
Absolutely. The State Route 81 project will begin at Postmaster Drive as you're coming out of downtown McDonough, and that's right there by Southern Crescent Technical College and McDonough Middle School. It will start there and then go east to Bethany Church at Bethany Road.
Okay. Because those right now that's where it narrows down coming out of McDonough. That's where it narrows down from 4 lanes to 2, correct? Yes. And then runs out that way. Okay. All right. Well, that'll be nice. And what's that look like for time frame and that?
Yes. So that project is a joint effort between the state and county. The county has led the project up until this point through design and right-of-way. The state will now lead the construction effort using county funding. So the state has awarded the construction contract. They've issued the notice to proceed. And so we could any day now start seeing the contractor mobilize those initial steps, very similar to Jonesboro Road, where initially you'll see roadwork ahead signage and the erosion control silt fencing.
Wow. That'll be nice to get that up to the 4 lanes then, that little stretch there, because that does get backed up. That does.
Absolutely.
Tell me too, I think the last time a couple months ago we talked to you and we talked a little bit about McDonough Parkway. I'm assuming that in a couple of months, since it's been a couple of months, there's a few updates that you have for that.
Yeah, the McDonough Parkway project near Union Grove. Very exciting update on the horizon. We are expecting the bridge beams to arrive in the very next week or two for that project, so that in the next couple weeks, you will start to see the bridge beams going across the highway to create
Wow.
that new bridge over Highway 155. Once those bridge beams go into place, the contractor will then work to install them and pour the deck of the bridge. And that's really one of the last signature pieces, components of this project, as we just had the All-Star game. So we're in, to use a baseball reference, we're in about the 7th inning stretch. We are getting very close. We are looking around October, early November. We estimate we will be finished with McDonough Parkway.
Oh, that'll be nice. That'll be great. I can't wait for that. Any other T-SPLOST-1 projects? You said there's 5 that are either,
Yes.
somewhere in and then there's 2 remaining. So anything else to update on T-SPLOST-1?
On our T-SPLOST-1 project, I'm sure motorists up in the Stockbridge area have been seeing the progress on Rock Quarry Road widening near Piedmont Henry Hospital, where of course, the hospital just opened their new expansion. And so that road widening project is making good progress, funded by Transportation SPLOST. And we are also working on utility line relocations on Mill Road next to Sam's Club and the Best Buy. That's another T-SPLOST project, widening Mill Road right there near the interstate.
That's another one that sees a lot of traffic with all of the retail in that corridor and kind of gets backed up as well. That's great. Okay, cool. Hey, quick question. I know that you guys are working on a T-SPLOST-2 package. Any updates on that? Anything that anything that we can drive our listeners to find out more?
Yeah, absolutely. This spring, we held a series of open houses and had an online survey. We were very appreciative of the little more than 900 residents and travelers in Henry County who participated in those efforts. And that feedback has now become the cornerstone as we look to finalize a project list. The Board of Commissioners will consider adopting the final list on August 4th. And once the board adopts that list, we will be sure and talk with you all and add to our website all of the details about those different projects. But we really want to highlight that the public's feedback is playing a huge role in which projects make this list, so that it is reflective of the community's interest and what the community sees as main bottlenecks around the community.
Great. That's great. I appreciate that update. And I think that listeners and residents, I think that the fact that they were able to give input and help determine what the priorities were for the projects, that's amazing. Thank you. One last question, Clayton, before I let you go. Remind our listeners where they can find out the updates and the projects and that for the SPLOST and T-SPLOST projects.
Absolutely. You can visit our website at henrycountysplost.com, and there you can see all of our latest news releases on projects underway through SPLOST and Transportation SPLOST.
Clayton, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate the updates and sharing that with our listeners. Have a great day and enjoy the rest of summer.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now it's time for our Member Minute. I recently sat down with former Stockbridge Mayor Anthony Ford, where he shared what it meant to receive the Billy Carter Public Service Award at this year's annual awards and installation dinner. Mayor Ford discusses his longstanding commitment to public service from his youth to the Army to today, and why this is important to him. Well, we're excited for this Member Minute episode because we are sitting here with Mayor Anthony Ford from the city of Stockbridge. Mayor Ford, how long were you mayor?
8 years, Joe.
Wonderful.
Two 4-year terms.
Yeah. You were there. I think you had just started when I started back in 19. Is that about right?
Well, yes, sir. I was elected official a little prior to that, but I remember distinctly being involved with, believe it or not, with the board as a board member, voting to have you come in.
Well, I appreciate that vote.
So absolutely, sir. No problem. We wanted to keep you here. I said,
thank you.
Let's get this gentleman here for us.
Yeah. Well, and So I just need to clarify for y'all that we're talking to Mayor Ford today because he was recently awarded the Billy Carter Community Service Award at the annual awards banquet and installation dinner this year by the Chamber. But I had nothing to do with that. So I just want that clear that your vote for me to be here was not in any way a payback.
Oh, appreciate it.
Okay.
No problem, Joe. Understand.
What was your, although I was happy that you received it, what was your reaction when you learned you'd received it?
Well, Joe, I will tell you what happened is that I had, first of all, I was quite surprised, to tell you the truth. Mm-hmm. And then by being a member of the board for many years, the chamber, that is, many years, and the city being a member and coming to meetings and attending the annual conference, I just assumed that I was being invited there on a complimentary ticket.
No.
You see, so I figured that you had a certain amount, and my wife and I were just there to join in on the festivities, and so I had no idea that I was going to get an award. I really didn't. And when my name was called, I was ecstatic. I said, "Oh, what? Really?" I looked at my wife and looked up, and I was like, gave her a kiss, and I'm like, "Whoa!" And then just the fact of walking up to the stage and the amount of applause and folks just cheering, is really ecstatic. I tell you, I will never forget that moment. I mean, I really appreciate that. And what that has done for me, though, is also encouraged me, in a sense, to make sure I stay actively involved in community service, actively involved in the community, because I've been retired from the Army since for 16 years now, and like I said, the last 12 years of being an elected official, but to receive this wonderful award and recognition is just encouraging me to continue to be involved and do what I can, because I said, "Oh, holy smokes, look at here." I shook hands and gave a few hugs, and folks are clapping, and I was like, "God."
Well, and I think that's one of the most amazing things that I see in you. As you said, retired from the military, 12 years of elected office in Stockbridge, but just your humility. You're just so humble in accepting that award, receiving that award, and don't do the work for the recognition, but humble when you do receive that recognition.
Well, I appreciate it, Joe, and I appreciate the comments, and I'm about service. I honestly think I got a service heart. Yeah. That's why things in my life have occurred this way and in this aspect, and that's why I know as I continue to live my life here in Henry County, I don't think I'll move anywhere else in this aspect, that I will continue to do what I can for my community as a collective whole, to be of service. And I just think that's what I need to do, and I think that's what the good Lord would want me to do in this aspect as well. And so I just want to help out.
Well, you had mentioned your journey. When you look back on your journey, what first inspired your commitment to serving the community?
Well, I grew up in St. Louis, Missouri, so it comes back from my upbringing and my parents. My mother and father were both involved in the community and church, of course, and in this aspect, and so that helped me out. And then, of course, I did things in high school, and I got a student government in high school. But oddly enough, when I got student government in high school, it was my senior year, and at the end of my junior year, I ran for president of the student government, and I actually won. And so my senior year, I was the president of our student government, even though I was in a homeroom and we had student government during that time frame. I didn't participate because I was always busy doing other things academically, or I was busy with playing football, or running track or cross country, and play some baseball, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And finally, I just got the inkling to do that, and probably through, I'm saying, the encouragement of my parents, and actually, and I was in a National Honor Society too, and I think about it too as well. And I decided just to run, and the students elected me. So my senior year in high school was actually the student government president, and then that took off from there. Yeah. And then I did something very similar in college as well.
Good.
And so and then I went into the military, and the military is of serving your country. So I was in the military for 30 years. So, and in all actuality, now to think about it further, when you're in the military, any military service, and you're full-time in any military service, you cannot function in capacity as a municipal elected official, state elected official, or federal, on a federal level. Mm-hmm. Now, if you're considered a guardsman or a reservist, which is considered part-time, mm-hmm. then you can. So I wouldn't have the opportunity to actually serve in the capacity as elected official since I couldn't have the capacity to do that until I retired, which is 16 years ago, and I spent 12 years as an elected official. So So during my time in the military, I couldn't do that. And so it was always, always had a desire, I guess you may say, in this aspect to do that. But I served our country for 30 years,
Well, thank
honorably,
you.
I would say, in this aspect. And so life goes on and we continue to serve.
Well, thank you for your service. I think that too, though, falls in that community service category. When you look at community leadership, it often comes with challenges, difficult decisions. What have those experiences taught you about serving others?
Well, here's the thing, Joe. I think about it. What I didn't say, what I need to tell you is that my father is a World War II and Korean War veteran.
Okay.
Now, he passed away 6 years ago, but he lived a long life. And I happen to be the oldest son. And he wanted one of his two sons. I have a younger brother, and I have an older sister and a younger sister as well. And I'm the only one out of four that went into the military. But he since an older son, he tagged me and said, "Son, you need to go in the service." And I told him I really didn't want to do that because he raised me like a little soldier. And he said, "No, you need to do what I tell you to do." I said, "I don't want to do that, Dad." I said, "Boy, what did I tell you to do? Do what I tell you to do." And so what happened is that I applied for ROTC scholarship, and I actually was awarded an ROTC scholarship come out of high school, and took it on to college. So in a sense, what happened is that I started doing that and serving the country. So willing to go to war, die for my country. I'm a patriot. I feel I'm a patriot without a doubt.
Yeah.
And in this aspect, but so that continued along those lines. So when I got out of the military and was able to be involved in my community, I started getting involved with my HOA where I live in Stockbridge in Monarch Village. I was actually the president of HOA for that board for 12 years. It overlapped with my time frame of being actually the president of the school council at Dutchtown High School, where my daughter went to school. The 4 years she was there, I was a parent representative, working with administration. And actually, that during that time frame, I got introduced to the chamber.
Yeah,
believe it or not, because I think it was called E Squared. I think it was, and so I got involved, and that's when I met Kay Pippin and June Wood were here at that time, and I started getting involved then with the chamber in that aspect because I was at the high school, and the daughter went on to college, so I followed her to college, but I just followed her to college. I didn't do anything really with the University of Alabama. At that time, I was so wrapped around the axle with the city at the time, and getting elected to the city as an elected official there, and so things just started happening, and I just want to be of service and see what I can help to improve my community and my living environment, my environment in which I live.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. And so that begs the question, with all of your community leadership and that, when you think about your legacy, what are you most proud of?
Well, let me back up for a second, if you don't mind.
Okay.
For a second before I get to that. I don't think I adequately answered your previous question.
Oh.
There's something I missed here.
Okay.
You got to think about the fact if I spent 30 years in the military, there's a certain amount of formats and formalities and things that you have to do. So I'm programmed.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say for anybody spending time in the military, I spent 30 years. So I get out and I come into the civilian sector. Well, here's my biggest challenge. I'm dealing with people who may not have had any military experience, who may not have a certain amount of structure. I mean, and not disqualifying anybody. I'm just saying, I'm just talking about it's a different mindset per se, and a different way to manage things. So the decisions on things that I have to deal with in the civilian sector after being in the military is challenging to me in reference to things. And I have to be patient, I think, more understanding, communicate, have an open ear, understanding of how things work, and then try to keep the thought process, what's the end goal here and how do we get there? How do I communicate with folks so we can get from point A to point B and realize that I don't have the type of power I may have had in the military when I can direct and things of this nature. I mean, because, it's cut and dry per se. So that was, say, my biggest challenge and has been and will probably continue to be somewhat of a challenge. But I think as I understand that and I try to work openly with folks and understand things a little better, that I think I can make things move forward or be helpful. I'm the type of person that if I see a problem, I will ask you, how can I help you solve the problem versus someone says, I see a problem, this is what you need to do, and you go do that. You see, so I don't particularly care, I'm sorry, but people to say, here's the problem, you need to do this. Well, how about you help us solve this problem versus you direct it and say, this is what you need to do, and you step back. You see, so I try to, if I'm going to get involved or ask you, I'm going to see how I can do to help you. You know, and that's just my nature. I mean, and you're right. And earlier, I think in a conversation you mentioned about being humble per se, and I'm not looking for some financial gain or special recognition. I'm just trying to help and do God's work. I mean,
and leave the world a better place than where we started.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Absolutely. When you think about your legacy, what are you most proud of?
Well, see, then this is somewhat. It's not difficult, but it's no one particular thing.
I understand.
It's not one particular thing. So since I have a child, and Father's Day just occurred, I have one child, a daughter, going to be 30 in September, who went to Dutchtown High School, which is one of the reasons why when she went to high school, that's why I decided to get involved with her education, because I didn't want to be an absentee father.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And number two is that since I just got out of the military, there are things that when I was in the service, I missed for her education.
Sure.
So I could not be around because I was either deployed, training, somewhere I was gone or whatever. So I wanted to make sure that during her formal years of being in high school, I wanted to be involved. So that's how I got and stepped out and been involved in that. And I had a couple different principals that I was involved in this aspect, and working with those principals and those assistant principals and administration, and trying to be a good parent rep for everybody in this aspect. And I was informed, you just can't be here for your daughter. You're in this position. You got to be helpful for everybody. I said, okay, fine. I'll see what I can do. And so, and she was a cheerleader, so I was a proud cheer dad. And so I was going to football games and basketball games to support her and support her teams, and the people out there playing ball, girls basketball as well. And so I was in the stands cheering them on, and it was great for me to do that, because I missed all that, because the last time I did something like that, I was in high school myself or college. I should say college. Yeah. You know, so on that aspect, yes, being involved in it, I thought that was really significant for me in my involvement with my own child. But then simultaneously, being in my neighborhood in Monard Village, I live here. I want to see how I can help. So I volunteered my time. You get no pay for it. I wasn't looking for pay anyway. And it's just try to be involved. And I think over the 12 years that I was involved in that, it overlapped with the school, overlapped with being an elected official. And sometimes folks said I was a glutton for punishment with all this kind of stuff. But so the thing of it is that I think in my 12 years there, along with the rest of the board members and working with the Pacific community members in Monard Village, I think I did a decent job with that. Eventually, I had to give it up because it was getting overwhelming with things I was doing with the city, of course, becoming the mayor, and then working with Georgia Municipal Association, eventually with ARC, and it got overwhelming. Yeah. So I had to give up something. And the thing of it is, my wife and I both did it together, because when I was the president of the HOA, my wife was also social chairperson, so I was always involved with her and all the social activities that went on for the community itself. So I think together we did a fantastic job, but we had to disengage after a while and let somebody else take charge of this, because other people need to step up and do some things. And then by being an elected official, I would say to you, establishing your own police department was one thing. I will also say to you, my first year of being in mayor, when we had the issue involving Eagles Landing, they wanted to be its own city. So I'll say the fact of no de-annexation of roughly 90,000 citizens out of Stockbridge, or an incorporation of a city called Eagles Landing. So working that aspect, and the citizens getting educated on it, and then voting to keep the city complete, not to de-annex. And then part of that process was the Bridge of Jodico, which is thriving right now, very much thriving. And then, of course, I think one of the latest things is what happened this past weekend for Juneteenth, and our amphitheater, state-of-the-art amphitheater, paid that thing off in 4 years. It paid off in August of last year, 2025, at $22.5 million, the way it was funded. And so I would think that was a great legacy in that aspect as well, and brings entertainment to the area. Open amphitheater, I think that's great. So I would say those things, and I would hope that whatever happens next for me, whatever the good Lord leads me down the path, that whatever it is, that I can be somewhat successful, helpful, of service, to do something that makes sense logically and is positive, and it helps out the community in which I live, because I will say that I have no intentions of moving anywhere else. I be right here in Henry County. If for some strange reason not Henry County, I don't think I'll move out of Atlanta metro area, but I like living right here with what's happening.
It's always interesting when you ask somebody about their legacy and you hit both your family and your professional legacy. And I appreciate that, because I think that is one of the great things about you is I love conversating with your wife as well. And it's just amazing. As we wrap up, if you could leave our listeners with one message about service, leadership, investing in the community, what would it be?
Well, I think I've touched base on all those. It's about just giving back, doing more for your community, making it better than when you arrive. Be of helpful, be of assistance. Try to help out. I mean, and not worry about recognition. Just help.
Yeah.
And then you will be blessed in the process of helping. What type of blessing it will be, who knows? It could be financial, monetary, but also just a blessing knowing a lot of different people. Mm-hmm. Do good for your family, your friends, your extended family, but also the community in which you live. Make it better. I mean, because you know what? Sometimes my wife and daughter have a hard time wanting me to talk about this, but everybody's born, and eventually you'll have to pass. Everybody's going to have to do this.
Right.
So what's happening between the born date and the date that the good Lord says you come see me? What are you doing with life? What are you doing with your life? How are you making it better? How are you helping out? Are you making a legacy here that's positive? And this aspect, and when the time comes, what will people generally say about you and what you've done? You know,
wow.
And in this aspect, so just be of good nature and try to help out as best as possible. And I mean, people have different religious beliefs. I'm a Christian, so I say be a good Christian in this place. You see, and just see what you can do. Life can be difficult enough, and I look at it this way: if I can make it better for my community, I make it better for myself, because I also live here.
Yeah,
you see, I live here, so I make it better for myself simultaneously. Mm-hmm. So that's the way I look at it. And guaranteed, I had no idea when I was younger. I had no idea, even when I got in the military, no idea that I'd end up here in Georgia. It just happened that way. And so now we're here, and I'm pretty sure I'll be here the rest of my given days. Now, hopefully my given days another 20, 30 years.
Let's hope, because I think there's still plenty that you and I can be working on.
Check that out. I appreciate it. But that's why people just need to get involved. And no matter you're young folks, middle-aged, seasoned folks, there's still things you can do, nonprofit things you can do in the community and make a positive impact.
Well, I think we've said it all.
All right, sir. No problem. Appreciate
all right.
it.
Congratulations again.
Oh, thank you.
Good to see you.
No problem, Joe. Appreciate you, sir. Thank you very much.
Absolutely. We'll be right back. Congratulations again to Mayor Ford on this recognition, and thank you for your service. We also have several exciting updates from across our chamber family. Congratulations to Henry County Police Chief and Public Safety Director Mike Ireland, who has retired after 26 years of service. Chief Ireland has devoted nearly 5 decades to public service, which includes 21 years in the U.S. military. In celebrating Ireland, the county stated he has guided the department through a period of significant growth and modernization while strengthening community partnerships in one of Georgia's fastest-growing counties. Henry County will upgrade North Mount Carmel Park with a $1.6 million investment from SPLOST 6 funds. This will include drainage improvements, a new playground, restrooms, and renovated sidewalks. North Mount Carmel Park is the largest public playground in Henry County at 129 acres. We want to wish all of our public and private school students a great year of learning ahead. Our one event last month welcomed more than 400 new educators to Henry County as our schools continue to expand to better serve our community. The Henry County Water Authority hosted a record 23 rising freshman and sophomore Henry County students for the 4th annual Waterworks Summer Camp. The students enjoyed tours of the Water Authority facilities as well as activities related to water and wastewater treatment, an engineering challenge, demonstrations of technology used in the field, water quality laboratory testing and analysis, field research, land and reservoir management. The summer camp concluded with tips on interviewing and resume writing as well as financial planning. Children's Healthcare of Atlanta generated $6.12 billion in economic impact across Georgia in 2024, according to a new study from the Center of Economic Development Research at Georgia Tech's Enterprise Innovation Institute. This is a 65% increase from the last time the system's footprint was measured a decade ago. The special election to determine who will serve the remainder of the late David Scott's term representing Congressional District 13 is headed to a runoff on August 25th. This closely watched race saw neither Scott's daughter, Marcy Scott, nor Everton Blair secure a majority of the votes cast. Now, celebrate with us at one of our ribbon cuttings on Thursday, August 13th at 10 a.m. for Advanced Auto Parts, Thursday, August 27th at 11 a.m. for the Job Center staffing, Thursday, September 10th at 11 a.m. for Day Party Studio, and Thursday, September 17th at 11 a.m. for the Dutch Oven Caribbean Kitchen. Be sure to check out the member news section on our website for details.
You've heard about our podcast sponsorships, so why not make it your moment? We'll record your ad, give your business a shout out, and even offer a bundle with our e-newsletter to expand your reach. It's simple, affordable, and built to highlight what makes you stand out. Reach out to Trinity at tarcher@henrycounty.com to get started.
Next up, let's take a look at what's going on at the Chamber. Join us on August 11th at 8 a.m. for our next Skills Showcase. Featuring Lacey Gamble, General Manager of Building 140, learn more about how the environment you create shapes the success you build. Skills Showcase is one pillar of the Henry Hub, serving as a practical, member-led learning hub where local subject matter experts lead focused, tactical workshops. Our next new member onboarding will be Tuesday, August 18th at 11 a.m. at the Chamber. In this session, you'll explore the Chamber's mission, meet the team, discover member benefits, and learn how to get involved and connect with fellow new members. Whether you're looking for visibility, resources, community involvement, advocacy, or business growth, this onboarding experience shows you exactly how to maximize the value of your Chamber partnership from day one. Discover Flex in Henry County by joining us on Thursday, August 20th at 9 a.m. as the Henry County Chamber Foundation launches its second year with the Georgia Flex program. Educators, business leaders, and community members are invited to attend and learn how Flex equips high school students with real-world entrepreneurial and leadership skills. Building Economic Bridge series is set for Tuesday, August 25th at 9:30 a.m. at the Chamber. Hosted by Henry County Chamber and the United Way of Greater Atlanta, this third session examines the challenges families and employers encounter with childcare. When reliable childcare is inaccessible, the consequences directly degrade employer productivity, recruitment, and retention. Join us to discuss the data, the impact, and some opportunities to impact our region. You are invited to our business after hours on Thursday, August 27th at the Canopy at Westridge. This networking opportunity begins at 5:30 and features the Canopy's exceptional cuisine and signature hospitality. And finally, mark your calendars to gather your foursome and register today for the 26th Annual Golf Classic, where business meets the fairway. We'll be at Heron Bay Golf Club on Monday, September 28th. Thank you to Snapping Shoals EMC for your title sponsorship of the event. For details on sponsorship or registration, contact Leonard Robinson at the Chamber. And thank you so much for listening to this episode of Community Convener, broadcasting from our Georgia Power studio. Be sure to subscribe or follow our Citizens Playbook podcast wherever you get your podcasts. If you're interested in learning more about our exclusive membership benefits or exploring sponsorship opportunities, give our team a call at 770-957-5786 or visit us online at henrycounty.com. And we'll be back with another episode featuring more conversations, more insights, and more ways to stay connected with the Henry County Chamber. Until next time, stay inspired, stay engaged, and keep growing with us at the Henry County Chamber.